Hey, it's Brian Malouf coming at you again from the studio with some more tips and tricks. And this video series is designed to give you a glimpse into some of the more interesting, hopefully interesting details of moves I make when mixing a song from front to back. The song is The Way I Was by Colby Calais, and today we're going to get into the vocals. So let's get started. So by way of review, let's kind of figure out how we got to where we're at. I started off with getting the song into a shape that I could listen to the interactions between the instruments and the vocals, both backgrounds and leads, and really feel like I knew what I had to do to make space for everything that was there on the recording. Once I had that balance together, I began doing small moves here and there, vocal moves, guitar moves, lots of little things that kind of gave it some life, hopefully, and gave it some interest. And then after that, I began soloing different aspects of the mix and working on individual tracks so that I could make something special out of everything that's on here. You saw in the previous episode how I was manipulating EQ on vocals, so the rides were more specific for chorus verse differences, and now I want to look at the treatment of the ambience in the vocal department. And also we've sort of ignored the fact that there's a male background singer in the choruses of this song, and it's always kind of a challenge to me to blend male and female vocals, but these two have a good blend. But I still felt there was some work to be done to help that out, and we'll get into that right now. So the first thing I have to address is the vocal reverb or ambience, because I've been listening to it dry and it has sounded fine dry, but dry in and of itself is an effect, and I feel the song is very honest, but nobody hears a singer singing in their ear this far away and in a very sort of dead room, so it sounds a little bit unnatural to me to have her dead dry. So what I want to try to do is give her a reverb, an ambience, a pillow that you don't necessarily notice in the track, but that is there. So let's listen to what I've done. The other thing that I played with and ended up liking was to give her a little stereo fill with this Soundtoys micro pitch shift or micro shift program plugin, and it emulates I think 3 different units. One is an Eventide, one is an AMS. I can't remember what the third one is. I usually go between 1 and 3, and I picked 1 for this. But here's what it sounds like in the track, and then I'll solo it.
The cold wind carries a bite, and the memories we hold tight start to blur. Now I'm only afraid the last pictures will fully fade of how we were, of how we were, of how we were. When the whistle blows in the church.
So it still appears rather dry to the listener at this level and in the context of that mix, but it's really not. Let's solo it and check it out.
And the church bell tolls, please remember me the way it was when the crows fly south and the preacher shouts, I hope you remember me, yeah, the way I was.
So that's alto verb emulating or convoluting the famous capital chamber number 4. And it's really exactly how I described it, a little pillow for her to sit in, or sit on, and it blends in quite transparently in the track, but it gives the impression that she's not singing right in your ear, which I prefer for this song. That's all she needs. I'm not putting any echo on, just these very tight delays. These usually have to be around 25 and 35 milliseconds on each side, and it just, like I say, it fills out the stereo imaging by putting a slightly detuned and delayed version of her on each side. But mainly you hear her up the middle. Now let's talk about the guy vocal, and let's see what I've done to help them blend. I'll just do the track again at first.
Church bell tolls, please remember me the way it was when the crows fly south and the preacher shouts, I hope you remember me, yeah, the way I was.
So he is got a very nice voice, but let's take a look at what I've done to enhance the blend between the two of them, or in my opinion, enhance it. I put this Antares throat Evo on his vocal. And my reasoning behind this effect was, I made a program called Warm Her Up, but of course I made it when I was working on a female vocal, but it works for him as well. There's also this SSL EQ. You can see what I've done. With the EQ here, I've de-emphasized the top end, and I also pulled out a little tubbiness and have got rid of the low frequency information. And I did not want him competing with her at the top end of the vocal spectrum. So this, I'm going to demonstrate the sound of this thing. Here, we're going to put it in and out. Just watch the bypass go in and out, and you listen for the difference.
And the church bell tolls, please remember me the way I was when the crows fly south and the preacher shouts, I hope you remember me, yeah, the way I was.
So as you could hear, what this is doing is it's darkening him up. It's taking away some of his top end, and it's also extending his low mid-range in a very cool way, almost like changing the format of his timbre. And that gives her all the room up top and makes him sound smoother than he does on this actual sound file. Let's put them together again.
And the church bell tolls, please remember me.
In and out bypass.
The way it was when the crows fly south and the preacher shouts, I hope you remember me, yeah, the way I was, the way I was.
And having done that, I think I get a good separation and a really nice blend between the two of them. So that's about all we have time for today. Happy mixing, and we'll see you next time.